Welcome to the start of a new anime review series. This is... Turn this aside here. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is the start of the series for To Love Ru. Anime Review Part 1. Of how many? I don't know. Depends how long it takes me to finish the series. Now, the thing with this series is infamous. As a matter of fact, it was actually in the news in the last few months. Because some stupid senator out of California want to have a trigger warning in this particular manga whenever anything adult happens. Okay, that is quite stupid. Due to the fact that, well, readers who have read this manga have never had a problem with the stuff that happens in this series. Never. And this guy basically was just doing it just for fucking attention. Yes, he was just doing it for attention. I'm not really sure exactly what the guy was thinking when he did this. Yes. Sorry, I had to reread my camera here. Just trying to get the right position here. Yes. Now, this manga is... Now, the actual manga itself for To Love Ru, it's 160 chapters, spread across 8 volumes. 8 volumes. 18 volumes. Now, this one... this particular video, I'm going to start discussing what To Love Ru is, and of course, the manga itself. The manga was only publishing for 3 years, publishing from 2006 to 2009. 162 chapters. The anime itself came during the last year of the manga publication. Well, that's when the actual thing did. Yep. Now, there is a dub for this thing. Yes, there is a dub. That might, of all people, Sen Filmworks. Okay, interesting. Now, here are your characters. The main character, his name is Rito. He's voiced by Rai McKean. Interesting character. Yeah, he's the main character series. He's often described as a pervert because he tends to walk in very awkward situations. And the fact he has a tendency to have women's clothes disappear for really no explanation. And then you have Leela. Yes, the main female protagonist of the series. And she's voiced by Alexis Tipton. Great voice actress, by the way. That's what the woman looks like, this pink hair woman. By the way, this woman basically has her hair going down to her rear end. Yep. Yeah, that's the character herself. There's also Haruna. She is voiced by Brian Opera. I think that's his name. Yes. The way that she voices her, I mean, I get the fact she's a teenager, but why in the world she have to sound like a little girl for? Yeah, that's how she sounds the dub for some reason. Then you have Mecha and Yuki, who's voiced by Brittany Kowalski. Yes, Rito's 12-year-old sister. In the manga, she's described as 11, yet in the anime, she's 12. I'm not really sure why. Let's see. There's also... Oh, there's a few other characters. Let's see if I can find them here. Let's see if I can find it here. There's one character named Zest, I think his name is. Yeah, he actually appears in... Here he is. Zest, he's voiced by Scott Gibbs. This guy is, well, let's just say, has to get lost, and he... Now, what they did with this character is they introduced him a little early, because in the manga, he made his debut in Chapter 3. In the anime, he made his debut in Episode 1. What order they adapted these chapters is quite strange, to say the least. Oh, yes, it is quite strange. Alright, yes. The first episode covered Chapters 1 and 3. The second episode covered Chapters 2 and 4. 3 is like 5, 9, and 10. And 4 is an original episode. The series starts off with something a bit different, because in the manga, this is not where they start off with. They start off with Lala, that's her name, Lala, where she's on the run from her own people, and she's basically running across this particular object that looks similar to the Death Star from Star Wars. Doesn't really do anything. Basically, bypassing, goes straight to Earth, and we see in the background she actually crashes. As for where she ends up, it's quite interesting. And then we see Rito, the main character of the series, where he's had this thing where he really wants to confess to the girl he likes, Serena, or basically, here's kind of the strange thing about this character, is that he constantly referred to her by her first name when she's not at school, but at school, he refers to her by her last name. It's probably just a Japanese thing. Now, if you're curious, though, do they use honorifics in the series like they do in Meow Love? No. No, they don't. Not that I can see, no. And, of course, well, his sister is introduced in the first episode. Now, here's something quite strange, though. For some reason, his parents are nowhere to see in the episode, though his father makes his debut in, I think, in chapter 11. I'm sure he might show up soon in the actual anime, but I've only got to the first 4 episodes. Mostly these episodes are very much standalone-ish, though in the case of 3, it's kind of like a few different stories go around. Yep. So, basically, how he meets Lala is quite interesting. He's basically bathing, and then here's Lala, pops up in his bathtub. Now, they did make a slight change in the manga, because in the anime, despite you see her fully naked, no censoring at all. Yes, there's no censoring series. So, basically, Rito grabs her chest, and she likes it. Other girls probably slap him for it. And then, of course, then he runs out of the bathroom scared. He sees sister like, oh, there's a naked girl in my bath. I was like, what? Really? Where's that girl? I was like, oh, man. And then she's in his bedroom. And then she puts on clothes. And she explains she's from the princess. She's the heir to the throne of the planet Devlik. And she has sort of this tail, which kind of makes it similar to a succubus. Yes, when I see a tail like this, I think of a succubus. But she's never referred to as succubus ever in the series. I would think she would. Basically, it's kind of like a long black tail with a heart at the end of it. It's her species. And then, apparently, it looks like her Secret Service shows up. Yeah, this happens in manga too. So, Rito, wearing simply a t-shirt and boxers, takes her out. And, of course, she's wearing her space outfit. They run across the rooftop. Haruna sees him. She doesn't say anything until the very next episode. It's a bit of a misunderstanding. They do clear it up by episode 3. Mostly, and he really wanted to confess to this woman. And then they go to the park, they battle the Secret Service, and then Zensa shows up, they battle him too, and then she basically summons a octopus vacuum cleaner to suck them up. And of course, because she has used in a while, that she pretty much forgets how to shut it off. Eventually, thing gets shut off anyways, and then apparently, the very next day, he wakes up. Of course, she's in his bed. Obviously, she's naked. And, the episode ends basically where he tries to confess his love. And then, that they're engaged now. Yep, they're engaged. They explain this in the very next episode. Apparently, the custom on her planet to propose marriage is by grabbing a woman's chest and groping it. I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah, that's not exactly how you do it on Earth. You have to use a frickin' ring to do that. But yeah, and he tries to break it off, but it doesn't really go anywhere at all. Yeah, the subplot of basically him trying to break it off, that's complete anime original. Yeah, so, the very next day, he goes to school, and then, episode 2 ends with him basically, he's in class, and then Lala shows up. She's apparently a transfer. They explain the next episode how she did to accomplish this. Yep. And I'm trying to think, what else was it? Oh, yeah. They show off her outfit. They... Actually, what they already did. Oddly enough, they haven't showed the inside of her spaceship just yet. They show several times in the manga, but they haven't got to that point just yet. Yep. And, of course, there's still kind of misunderstanding between Haruna and, of course, Riko. And then Lala shows up. Of course, she explains that she's... comes as a transfer student, and she's able to basically get squared away really easily because the principal is a notorious pervert. Yep. It's oh, you're cute. And then, of course, she basically blurts out the fact that she and Rito are, in fact, engaged, which sends all the guys in a frenzy. Where they really want to kill him because he's engaged with a beautiful woman. So, he tried to use the escape thing, and apparently their clothes come with them, so they end up in the girls' locker room where Haruna is changing, and they're both completely naked. Now, this is a slight change in the manga, because in the manga, she was already basically took off her top. She's already in a bra and short and skirt. In the actual anime, they have a slight change here, where she's actually starting to take off her top. Then these two show up. Oh yeah, and also she slaps Rito. One of several times she does it because he's trying to be a pervert. And then they go home afterwards, and of course they start living together. And of course, well, she gets introduced to, well, his sister, which they get along perfectly well. And of course, Zess hangs around, and of course he refers to her as Lady, which probably has respect because she's the younger sister of the future king of Deviluk. Yep. And then pretty much the next episode is a shopping episode. Yep, a shopping episode. Get her, go around, spend time in the town, and then of course, well, her clothes are disappearing. This happens in chapter 5, by the way. And then they go to the aquarium after they run into Haruna. They basically, oh yeah, the transfer's doing thing. She's studying abroad, come back, and then of course they go to the aquarium, which hijinks happens where we have, well, they try to explain the whole thing. It's not exactly cleared up per se, but it's no longer a misunderstanding. Yeah, where I have Haruna and Rito, where they basically kind of settle it, but not fully per se, but it's a start. As for Lala, she gets herself lost, and she causes the fish to go in a frenzy, and she starts swimming in the nude, which causes the place to flood. And they go home, and that's that. Next episode is all about cooking. Now, I did look on the manga. This is complete anime original. Because the thing is, basically, to skip over chapters 6 to 8. They probably get to a later point. I will probably get it. Yeah, and they try to do cooking. So, they try out the cooking. So, she has breakfast, which simply looks like something inside of eggs and bacon. She's never tried before because by the food gets to her, it's cold. Because they have taste testers. They check and see if there's actually poison in these actual food. A lot of time there really isn't. So, they're like, okay, I'll try it. And she, of course, he tries it, and the food tastes really bad. So, he apparently dies, but look up, he sees the girl he loves. And then he says something kind of bad to Lala, which sends her off to space. And she apparently completely forgets about it when she comes back. And she's back in her space garb, and she interrupts Rito in the middle of class. By the way, she's also a student there too. And they bring out like several different creatures instead of her freezer because her gadgets kept failing. Yeah, it's a minor gag in the series. Her gadgets don't always work. And of course, Haruna's there, and she gets knocked up with a squid. There's also an octopus, a freaking look like a slug, and a lobster. Ends up wrecking part of the school with this particular thing, and that's how the episode ends. I found these episodes pretty funny. Really enjoyable to watch. And can't wait to discuss the rest of the series. I know I kind of basically rushed it, but there's still a lot more stuff happening over the course of the next episodes. But yeah, but not much else to say about these episodes. They're good. I enjoy them. Would I recommend this show for kids? No. As a matter of fact, they actually start swearing in episode 4. Which, that was interesting. Yes, they actually have swearing in the series. I mean, I get the nudity thing, but swearing? Okay, fine, I guess it won't be edgy, as was in the Filmworks does. But they never really done it very much. Usually, Funimation is basically known for having some of their shows have swearing in it, but not Sentai Filmworks. They very rarely have swearing in them. Yep, so not much else to say about these 4 episodes are good. I will discuss episodes 5 through 8 in the next video, which I might get to it tonight. Okay, so that's it for particular review. My next video is going to be comic history on Speedball. I've been thinking about this one all day. Okay, see you next video. Bye.